5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
47, I believe, of the pod a day that keeps the doctor away. That's not official, but it sounds good as a phrase. I remember at one point I was saying, you know what I should do as a little shtick? I should make it so I actually eat an apple a day on each one. But that would just be like such a stupid novelty thing. I'd get sick. If I had to eat an apple right now, I genuinely think I don't know if I could. And also no one wants to hear that. Anyway, I usually try and think of a quote. A quote a day also keeps the doctor away. Anything a day will apparently keep the doctor away in my eyes. A quote a day will keep the doctor away. And today's quote, and by the way, I don't pre-write these, so I am stalling for time right now. I think of these on the spot. Today's quote is going to be, there's a time and a place to be fake. You know, and fakeness is one of those things, people don't like it. You can't be a fake person, right? Cut those people out of your life. But there is a time and a place for fakeness. And I'm not talking about the obvious, do I look fat in this? You know? Yes. Obviously, those are one of those times, and yes, obviously you say, no, you don't. But then again, if you're a good enough friend, you would just say, yeah, wouldn't you? I've never been asked that question, to be fair. I don't even know if people genuinely even ask that in the real world. Do I look fat in this? I don't know. I've never been asked that. Maybe that's more of a reflection of my life. Anyway, I think it's more just like, I was thinking about it. The classic example is if you're, got niche going on in your own world, and then someone a good friend of yours, gets good news, and if you don't genuinely feel happy for them, which by the way is normal, like I'm sick of this, like, oh, if you don't even feel good for them, you're not even a good friend. You are a piece of dirt. You shouldn't actually feel good for them. You shouldn't have to fake it. It's just not true, man. Have you never? Come on, we can all be honest. Come on now. And I know it's not convincing coming from me. It's like if a murderer was like, no, seriously, murdering. It's not that deep. Like, genuinely, it's actually pretty good. It's like, you're one of them though. So I'd prefer to hear it from maybe a sane person. But it's true. Like, and it's just normal to in the moment be like, classic example, right? Applying for jobs. Oh, I remember, right? Period of time. This kind of happened recently, but not so much as bad as it was in my lowest rut. Because I told you how I used to be quite prolific. Like I went on a decent streak of pretty much every interview I got the job. And by the way, these weren't career jobs. These were all like retail bullshit, right? But I just remember going through a point where I was just like, I've got the experience, I've got the everything, right? Because I get it at the beginning when you've got the experience. It's like, how do I get the experience? Well, I need the job for the experience, and they're not giving you it, right? But this was when I had all the things on paper that you need. I was their type on paper, and I like, honestly, at the beginning when you're looking for jobs, it's like, no, like you're scrolling through all the ones. Let's be honest, John, Indeed, you're scrolling through the jobs. You're like McDonald's, nah. You're like not doing that shit, not working in food. So fuck off Burger King. Fuck right. Even like higher end stuff, if you even want to call it that, fuck off. You're like this. No, what's that? That's below like London living wage. So for example, like £9 an hour. You're like, nah. You're just scrolling. Give it time. 2 months later, you're like, yeah, so I got my McDonald's interview tomorrow. Hopefully that goes well. And then you're sitting there. Why do you want to? What makes you passionate about joining McDonald's? And it's like, can they hear what they're saying right now? And then you're there like, yeah, man, yeah, like genuine. Like, I love it's like a fast like work environment. How like no 2 days are the same. No 2 days are the same. And I feel like I really need that. And you're just sitting there like I don't even want this job, and yet I'm out here like begging for it. And then didn't get it. And I honestly, mate, I remember they made me go in. I'm sitting there just talking to this woman, and it's like when you apply for a job at McDonald's, like you're not in a back room somewhere. You're not like, you're just sitting out. Like the table's not even been cleared. There's just like empty, like a little Happy Meal empty thing or something, and everyone else is just eating or whatever. And then they're just talking to you. You can't really hear them. What would you say? And then she was like, I can't remember anything she said. She was just chatting waffle, and then she was like, "Okay, let's see what you like on They made me do something which is like rare. I haven't had many interviews where they do that, but anyway. So then she put me on like the window. And by the way, this is lame, but my mum. How many icks can you give in one in about 5 minutes? By the way, yeah, my mum dropped me to Matt. This wasn't recently, by the way. This was like probably a year ago. So still, actually, was it? No, it would have been longer than that. Maybe 2 years ago. And I don't know. Regardless of anyway, she dropped me there, and I think she was on her work break. Yeah, it gets worse. So she was waiting, and I said, it will only be this long. And then I was just in there for like an hour, and it was probably meant to be like 15 minutes. I was in there for like an hour and 15. Put me on the window thing. I'm like, okay, so this one is get the gist of it. I'm not doing a whole shift, but firstly, they're not paying me for this, right? So I'm sitting there doing this thing, and oh my god, by the way, within that hour, so boring. Props. You have to do that 5 days a week, 8-hour shifts, genuinely, because it's like it basically non-stop repetitive nonsense. And I've done repetitive jobs before, but I've done repetitive jobs in warehouses that don't involve customer interaction, and just a car comes up every time, say the same spiel. Do you want to think with that? You got to do this little script thing. See you later, McDonald's. Then start it again. And then it was just hell. And the people I was with, they were just boring the life out of me. I just thought, I can't work with you on a daily basis. I know that sounds out of order, but that's what I was thinking. And I'm just thinking, how long is she going to have me standing here for? Because if I don't pipe up and say something in a moment, they've already mugged me off. I've been here for like an hour on this drive-through. I'm just thinking, I don't work here. I've put in more than enough time. And I just thought, okay. I was like, do you know where the manager woman is? And they was like, no, we don't know. Everyone's like not really acknowledging me. Like they're just, because when you work in any like food environment, kitchen type thing, no matter if it's McDonald's, Five Guys, Nando's, or an actual like 5-star establishment, when they're in the kitchen, there'll be people treating it like it's a Michelin star restaurant. Like people are like running up and down, like walking like like shoulders swinging like quickly side to side. Just straightforward, like chin up. You say something to them, like no, definitely no, mate. It's like excuse me, I'm actually here. It's like they're whizzing past in cars. I'm just trying to get a word in, and I'm just like, okay, do you know the manager? She's like, oh, who did you have the interview with? Who was it with? I don't know. I don't work. I'm like some woman. She was shortish, that-ish. No, I didn't say that. She wasn't even fat. I don't know why I'm being a dick. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, she was like blonde woman, like she was here earlier. They're like, I don't know, they're describing, mate. I'm describing 90% of the staff working here. What do you mean? You how many managers? Anyway, eventually they were like, yeah, she left like for half an hour ago. Right, I was like, can I leave them, please? They're like, well, yeah, I guess so. Inevitably, never heard from them again. Actually, I think maybe they said didn't get it or unlucky or whatever. And I just thought, not only did I eventually have to apply for a job I didn't even want, I then went to the interview and begged for a job I didn't even want. I then worked there for free for only like an hour and a half, but still, and then I got rejected. And then and that's like not one scenario. It'd be like stuff like that happening just like every few days, just for like months in between jobs. Like genuinely, it takes me forever. I don't know why I'm so bad at it. And like then I don't know, I was like, my friend was also struggling for a job, and he lost his like half. I was like 3 months into not having one. He lost his, and then he got a new one. The turnaround was like 2 weeks, and it was just like, oh, like obviously in the moment I'm thinking, the first thing I'm naturally thinking is not that I'm not happy for you, but now I'm just even more pissed for me. So it's less of like a oh, I'm not happy for you, I wish you didn't get it and you'd struggle with me also. It's more just that like, no, I'm just extra annoyed at myself in my own situation. But outwardly I wouldn't say that. I just sort of project the whole, and those are the moments, because when you're winning, you want to be able to be like, yo, I'm winning. Who wants to pat me on the back? And by the way, this is the standards we're at as well. It's not like we're talking about job promotions here, or like we're talking about securing minimum wage retail work. That's the bar at the moment. That is what's currently classed as winning. Just securing a job. But yeah, I do it to myself, to be honest. I've never had a job where I've been there longer than 5 months, because either I get sick of it, the repetitiveness of it, I get sick of the management, or I overstay my welcome, aka they get sick of me. And when I say that, it's more that I just deteriorate as it goes on. I'll start off as a lovely, lovely boy, and by the end of it, I am a joyless sack of flesh. But I'm not that bad. It's just that it really depends on the management. And I've worked in some places where they just get it. They get what this job is. They get the type of people who are working here and who they're employing, and they get it. They're not like for the sake of it, just out of order for no reason. Like when you work somewhere, it's just like, look, you hire 90% of the staff here are between the ages of 17 and 22. That's not by chance. You do that on purpose because you want to pay your staff less, and therefore if you hire people under the age of 19 in general, you can spend less money on work. All right, you get that. You get that a lot of the people working for you are also at uni maybe, or they're doing something else. It's just a part-time thing. And of course, they don't want to climb up the ladder. That in their minds, they're going to do other stuff in the future, and they're just doing this for now, and it's just for money. And they don't want to be here. I just can't stand the managers. The amount of times I've been called into a meeting, or it's like, yep, yeah, mate, would you sit down? Yeah, you're not smiling, mate. I've actually got an issue with your attitude, your body language, and it's like I'm just standing here, like on the sort of front gate in the cinema. It's like I'm just standing there. I'm literally not doing anything. I stand here, the customers walk up, I put on a little smile. You're right, yeah, you're in screen 4. That's just down 2 doors on your right. Enjoy the movie. Okay, yeah, fuck my life. Got 6 more hours. Cooly. And the thing is, I'm not like being rude to I'm just doing my job to the bare minimum level, to the bare basics level. I'm getting by. I'm drifting through, which by the way, is fair. You get what you pay for. You're paying me £6 something an hour. Like, I don't know why you want Michelin star premium. I don't know, but I mean premium service. And the Michelin star thing, yeah. I've barely worked in food environments because I just hate the way people are moving. Hospitality stuff, like I just see it, the way they talk to the people as well, like just bang out of order. Like it's just people who've watched too much Gordon Ramsay basically, and they want to live that, and they just like put that into their work. Only they're working in like a place where it doesn't matter. But no, there's a time and place to be fake. Give your, praise people. Don't put your negative energy on them. Because things can change for you quick, and when they do, you're probably going to feel bad that you weren't more supportive for other people in that moment. Anyway, though, that was a big tangent. I just feel like sometimes I don't talk about sort of that story. It's like story time stuff that much. And boy, oh boy, I feel like there's so many stories like that happen from work. I feel like I could go and put myself in the weirdest like scenarios sometimes. Like I could go. I haven't really been abroad I've been abroad like once in my life, but just bear with me for the point I'm trying to make. I'm not doing anything inappropriate. I'm just scratching my gut, which sounds bad, but it's not what it looks like on the camera. I just realised. I think I got a mosquito bite on my stomach, which is not even really mosquito bite season. Anyway, you could put me in the middle of Cambodia with like £4, which is basically nothing because they don't use pounds, and leave me there for a week, and I'd probably come back with nothing interesting, no funny stories, nothing. But just going to like work, I feel like an environment that doesn't lend itself to just weird things happening. I feel like so many things have happened, just weird things or like interactions. It just happens, man, and you wouldn't think so. You go out, and someone's saying you don't see anything weird's happening. But at work, it was just such an often occurrence. But yeah. I've got so far into this, I haven't even brushed over any of the topics. Why did I try and abbreviate topics? I hate that I did that, and I hate how it sounded. DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio. I've seen he's like trending. He was on Twitter. People were posting because you know how Leonardo DiCaprio he loves younger women. Now, when I say that, I mean Leonardo DiCaprio is nearly 50. He likes women younger than him. I wouldn't say he likes younger women. You know what I mean? Like they're usually below the age of 25. I think his current one's like 29. So it's like they're like just normal aged. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like he's dating 18-year-olds. But he's 49, so the gap is like 20 years or something, right? And it's like, look, he's super rich and like one of the best actors of the generation, and it's all consensual. And sure, go for it. I don't really care. But I saw some. It is kind of weird that how everyone he had that thing where he's kind of dumping people when they hit 26. Anyway, it was probably just coincidence. Anyway, I saw, yeah, people posting on Twitter like, so there was a picture, HBO, The Last of Us, the series, and they were posting pictures of the two co-stars hugging. One of them a child, one of them an adult. One of them, the adult being Pedro Pascal, and the child being, I don't know her name, she's like a new actress. And they're hugging, and then the caption is like, just to be clear and for perspective, this is the same age difference as Leonardo DiCaprio and his girlfriend. Okay, true. What point are you trying to make? It doesn't like you could. It's not weird. They're both adults. You saying it as like you're trying to out him. Like, by the way, we're not talking about this enough. How it's so disgusting that Leonardo DiCaprio is with someone 20 years younger than him. It's like, sure, it's like maybe it's a big gap. It's like a little weird, but like Taika Waititi is dating Rita Ora, isn't he? And she's like, there's a big gap there, and it doesn't even matter. The point is that he's a 49-year-old man dating someone who's nearly 30. It's like, yeah, sure, it's like a 19-year age gap or something, or like a 20-year age gap, but they're both like, old, kind of middle-aged. Like, would you really bet an eyelid at it if you saw a 90-year-old get with a 60-year-old? That's 30 years. And I think people would be like, oh, that's kind of odd, but you would almost not even think about it. No, it's not 30 years. No, it is, right? 70, 80, 90. Yeah, you'd be like, so that's like even more weird, but it's not over. And if you met someone who had a 10-year age gap, you'd think, okay, it's kind of a big age gap, but it's not crazy. That's not like that odd. When they were 10 years old, their partner was being born. Like, you can't change anything. Now, yes, in certain scenarios, like the Queen or whatever, it's like you do the maths in your head and you'll think, wait, so your husband's 48 and you're 30 and you met 15 years ago, you said? Right then. Like my actually I shouldn't say that in case it's too, but I know somebody whose parents was that scenario where they were talking about their parents like this wholesome thing, and one of their parents was dead because he was that much older than the mum, and I never really thought about it, but then I did the maths in my head and I just thought, you've set this up as a thing, oh, they've been together this long and you've given me both their ages. I've now done the maths, and it was like, that means she was like 15 and he was like 25 when they started dating or whatever. And they've been married ever since, and it's been something. And I remember explaining this story to a friend once, and they was like, not that weird, mate, not that weird. Basically, this was like 5 years ago, and they were giving me like Andrew Tateisms. Obviously, it wasn't a thing back then. Being like, mate, that's just literally a thing. In Cambodia, the age rate's this thing. It's just a thing we make up because who says what's right and wrong? And they're both consenting, and and there's love, and it turned out to be fine in the end. It's like, no, man. I felt like I was going insane. Like, it's weird. Like that, and that is Leonardo DiCaprio dating someone 20 years younger than him is just like a bit, sure. He likes women who are still. He doesn't like grey hair. He doesn't like, he likes what he likes, right? He's living his life, and this final adults. It's like, what's more weird than that? that these people going on about DiCaprio, like just for thing, kind of gross when you think about his girlfriend would have been like a literal 5-year-old, or he was like a full-grown man or something. Forget that. What's more weird is like a 16-year-old dating a 19-year-old. That's weird. That is weird. That difference, 3 years. 3 years. But there's perspective in these things. It's all relevant. 16 to 19, that is weird. And also, I think illegal, because even though you can have sex at 16, if you're 19, you have to be... I know the things. I haven't been to school in a while, but I know it's wrong, right? That's 3 years. But if you were 33 and 30, then it's normal. You know what I mean? It's just like, shut up. Shut up. Not everyone needs to be called out for being a weirdo online. Let's focus our attention to the actual ones who's currently weird. I don't know. Tarantino's kind of weird. He deserves a bit more than... Tarantino weirds me out. I don't want to be stuck in a room with him. Not that he would do anything, okay, but I don't like him. Anyway, oh my god, I got dry back off the throat. Something I wanted to mention yesterday, and I've listened to the end today as well, and I'm kind of like, again, I might, if I don't need to bring it up, it's something that's sort of timeless. It's not like a bit of news, so I can talk about any point, and especially in a point where I'm like drowning and I need something to say, and I haven't got anything, and I feel like if I'm at 21 minutes now, I don't want to use it now for an extra longie today and then be desperate, and I'll look at the time in the future and be like, oh, I'm on 6 minutes and I've used up everything. So I'm going to save it again for a second time in a row. We're going to shelf it. But yeah, this was 47, I believe, which means on to 48.
With the kids, and have like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet.